Well, hello. How are you today? This is Christine, your DIY craftaholic. Now, in this video, my friend May or Mary from Craft Away with May, we are collaborating in celebration of International Women's Day. I'll be talking about women of the Bible who were women of faith. We have Ruth, we have Deborah, we have Mary, we have Elizabeth, we have Mary and Martha, and a few others. But we want to inspire you as women to celebrate you. Those women displayed love, faith, strength, and identity. They gave hope and encouragement. And so we want to encourage you. We want to celebrate you. Now, I know that International Women's Day is March 8th, but we decided to put together this collaboration to give women some encouragement and just to let you know that you are appreciated. Now, in my video, I'll be talking a little bit about International Women's Day, sharing a little bit about that. I'll also be sharing scriptures, and then I'll get into the DIYs and show you what I have put together for you today. I'll also leave my friend's link down below the video so you can just hop on to her video when you get done watching mine. And please, if you have not yet subscribed to her channel, do so and let her know that I sent you. Alright? And if you notice my updo, you like it? Yeah, I love it. I tend to do my hair like this sometimes. And you'll know why when you see what I have for you today. Catch you in the video. Let's get crafting. I'll share a little about the history of International Women's Day. I went to their website and I found this. Pause the video and read if you like. I'll also share the link in the description box for you so you can access that. Proverbs 31:25 says, "She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come." Another verse, Genesis 1:27. "So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God he created them, male and female he created them." Now let's jump into the crafting. For DIY number 1, this is a piece of wood. It's not really a scrap wood. It came from a shoemaking kit. So I took that, I sanded it down, and then I painted it with 1 coat of acrylic white paint. Now it's dried. I got these graphics from Canva. I printed them off in black and white, and I just flipped that over and I'm shading in the areas because I'm going to be tracing this out on the wood. And this is another way you can stencil. So once I was satisfied with how I shaded it, I'm just cutting them out. I'm going to use this one that says International Women's Day. So I cut that out, placed it on the wood, and then use a piece of tape to tape that down. And I started out using the perforating tool from the Dollar Tree, but the point of it was too large, so I changed that and then used a pen. And now that I was done, I took that off. You can hardly see it, but I can. And then I'm going to be painting in that. This is another one that I also cut off, and I placed that at the bottom and did the same thing. When I lifted the paper, there were some sections that did not trace, so I had to put it back down and then went over that with a pen again. These are the paints that I chose: Apple Barrel Flamingo Coral and Pink Parfait and Folk Art Daffodil Yellow. And I also use a pink paint pen. So I had to shake the pen for the ink to come down a little, and I'm using that for the word Women's Day. And for the International, I just used a black pen for that. And for the color, for the flowers, I used the colors that I showed you earlier. And there were 2 little hearts on either side of the day. I used the red paint pen for that. How many of you like to paint? Painting is very therapeutic for me. If you like to paint, whether it's using paint or crayons and coloring book, because they do have adult coloring books. I do have one. I just haven't found the time. Crafting takes up a lot of my time. But if you love to paint, put a painting emoji down in the comments below. So let me know that you like to paint. And if you don't like to paint, what do you do for recreation other than any outdoor activities? Let me know that too. And here it is, looking pretty already, but I wasn't done. So I took the fine point marker and I just colored in the middle section of the flowers and then went around the border to highlight them. And here it is. Next, I took the Mod Podge, and I apologize for the shaking of the camera, guys. I have it mounted on the table, and the table surface is not sturdy, so it shakes every time that I apply pressure. So I took the Mod Podge and I just dabbed it on. I didn't trust the ink, so I just used the sponge dabber and dabbed that on. And of course, this is reversible. So here is my scripture. I'm going to cut this out. This is on the water slide paper that I got from Amazon. This is in my Amazon store. So if you are in the market for that, you can check that out. So here I am just cutting the words apart. Because of how it was printed, I had to cut them apart so that it could fit in the space like I wanted it on the wood. Now that I have them all cut and laid out, I'm going to transfer them over. So this is done by soaking the paper into the water about 30 seconds. And see, I moved the scripture and put that below the words. Remove the excess water using the paper towel. And then I placed it on the board, and you want to use your finger to hold one side down and then just slide the paper from underneath, just like that. And I used the paper towel to just remove the excess water. And I did that until I had all the little strips transferred. And now it's done. I'm just using the paper towel to do some last minute mopping up. And a little part of the S disappeared, so I took the marker and I just filled that in and then applied some Mod Podge using the sponge dapper. Now I don't want to spread, so I just use it gently until everything was sealed. I did not want the jute to wrap all the way around, so I stopped at both sides. I didn't want it going across the International Women's Day side, so I glued down the jute right there and then just went across the other side, twisted a little bit, came back across the same side and then glued it down on the other end, then trimmed that off, and that was it. For further embellishment, I added 2 of these paper butterflies, one at the top and one on the right. And then the jute was too fuzzy, so I took the scissors and just trimmed off the little fuzzies. I didn't want to chance it with the lighter. And this one is done. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. Now, like I mentioned, this is in celebration of International Women's Day. My friend May from Craft Away with May, I will leave her link in the description box below as well as below the video so you can check her out. Now, here is my statement piece. I got this wood head cut out from May. She was the one who inspired this video. So I'm going to make sure I dress her up and make her look cute for her special day next week. So I got this bag of pom-poms from Walmart. I also got this piece of fabric from Walmart. We're going to use some brown paint and this little earring. I wanted her neck to be a little bit longer, so I'm tracing that out on a piece of cardboard, and this is empty cereal box. And once I had it drawn, I'm going to cut 2 pieces, and then to make it sturdy, I cut a thicker piece of cardboard, and that's going to be on the inside between the 2 pieces. And I cut the middle piece a little bit shorter than the other 2 pieces. I glued down the middle piece using the hot glue and then glued on the top piece, and then the neck of the wood would fit right between the 3 pieces. So now it's time to get to work. All right. All right, so my girl is going to have her head wrap. I didn't want her to have all Nubia knots, so I just took the pencil, kind of drew a slanted line down from the back of her head to the top, and I left a little part out, and then I painted the top part with the black paint. And here I'm going in now with her skin color. After I started painting, I realized that the acrylic paint was too soft because the brush was just sliding through it. After I put it on, I didn't like how it looked, and I took the baby wipe off the excess. So then I decided to go back over it again with the same paint, but this time I'm using the sponge brush, and I got better results with that. I left that little place down by the neck because the cardboard is going to be glued on there. So now that is done and dried, I glued on the head in between the two pieces using some wood glue and hot glue. On the back piece, I left a little bit more cardboard on to give some support, and on the front piece that was a little bit shorter because it's gonna be going all the way up into her neck, and I didn't want that. I wanted enough so it could anchor the wood between it, but not too much. So now that is glued on, sturdy, very sturdy. She now has a neck. I then cut a piece from the fabric and then try to decide how I wanted to wrap this around her head, and I realized that I needed to have it cut in a kind of triangle form. So then I took the pencil and I'm just drawing the line as to where I wanted the wrap to start, and after I did that, it's now time to glue on the pom-poms.
Are you enjoying the video so far? I hope you are. There is so much more to come. Don't leave.
Alright, so now we have everything done. I'm going to trim the fabric down enough to cover that space that will form the head wrap. And I folded in the end and I'm gluing that down under the pom-pom. And I did the same for the bottom part, making sure that as I fold under, it's falling right on top of the line. And also covering the piece of cardboard that was sticking out from the top piece. Now I'm going to leave the top part and the back part for last. So here I'm just taking a few more pom-poms and covering the spaces that I could see. Now it's time to draw, to give my lady some lips and eyes. Now this part was not easy, guys, I must tell you. I was trying to look at a picture I saw on the internet as to how to form the eyes, and it was not easy. So I tried to give her eyes and eyebrow, and this is how it turned out for me. So I drew in her lips, and then I took the red paint pen again and started to paint that in, but it wasn't coming out bright enough, so I had to resort to using the paint. And then I took a little of the brown paint and just drew a line in the middle to indicate where her lips parted. So now everything was done. It's time to add her earring. This is one of the wooden earring that I made in Christmas. Well, I didn't make it. I got it from Panda Hall Selected, and I had this one remaining. Now I wanted to cover up. I then took some spackle or caulking and covered up the spaces between the cardboard, and I did that off camera because it was taking way too long to come out of the tube. And then here I took some brown paint and painted in the cardboard to give her the same skin tone like her face. To adorn her neck, I'm going to use that beaded jewel to give her a choker necklace, and I'm going to cut another piece of the fabric and use for the neckline of her dress. And I'll just let you watch to see what I'm doing for that part. I wanted the selvage on there, so I used the bottom part. So I folded in the top of the fabric, folded the fabric to give me the center, and then pleated it to gather it up. And as I pleated, I used the hot glue to hold it in place. Pleated and glued, pleated and glued. Glued on the outside and glued on the inside until both sides were done. Hey guys, I wanted to remind you, don't forget to check out my friend Mary's channel, Craft Away with May, to see what she has brought to you today. So now it's time to glue down the loose ends of the fabric. So all I'm doing, I'm just making slits in the fabric to allow it to be able to fold easier, and I'm gluing that on the back. And I did that for the neckline as well as the back of the headband. And for the front, there's no particular way in how you handle that loose piece. I'm just folding in and folding over and gluing down just so I have everything intact. I'm folding in the raw edges as well, so you're not seeing that. And just like my head wrap, it's a little different. So all I did was just wrap, roll, wrap, roll, wrap, roll until I got that donut or that Danish shape. Or Danish look. This is a little different. And so once I was done, I took another piece of that jewel and just glued that on for extra embellishment. But before I complete the look, I took some Mod Podge and just finished the face. And this is our cleanser. She's beautifying herself. And to tie in the earring with the fabric, I took the gold marker and just trace out a little line on the earring, and I believe she is done. I love her, guys. You have to let me know what you think about this, and you will definitely see more of her in the final reveal. And now we're moving on to DIY number 3. This is a little pizza board. I got it in a set of 5 from Temu. This is the last one, and I'm going to paint that with my linen tool, both sides. And then to distress a little, I took some Waverly Antique Wax on the dry chippy brush and then used the baby wipe to just remove the excess. And then took a little bit more of the wax on the sponge brush and I'm just outlining the border. Next, I took one of these butterfly applique. This came from Dollar Tree. And I love this one with the colors. So now I'm making a messy bow. So I cut pieces of this gingham ribbon and this lace ribbon and just lay them down on top of each other, crisscrossing alternately. Tied a piece of jute around and make sure that the knot was at the back, and then took another piece of the lace ribbon and just glued that around it. And there's my messy bow. But before I glue that on, I got this sticker set from my friend Tammy. Oh, Tammy, thank you so much. Here I'm using it for the first time. And the word celebrate also from this rub-on transfer set. So we have our banner at the bottom and the celebrate at the top. I'm just rubbing that on using the craft stick. Just making sure as I lift it, I wasn't lifting off any that should be down. And for the other sticker, this one is a little stickier. So I peeled off the back, placed that down, and I'm just rubbing it in for so it stays. Then peel off the top. Now on the banner, I took the fine point marker and I wrote the word woman. So this sign is reading celebrate woman. I was thinking of using the reverse side, but it was getting a little bit too much for me after finishing that woman's head. So I glued on the ribbon, used a little Mod Podge on a piece of sponge to just finish the surface. Took another piece of the lace ribbon and used that for the hanger. And this little sign is done. I love it. Let me know what you think about this one as well, guys. So for our final DIY, I got this little heart from my 99-cent store. I actually picked up 2 of them. And I thought this was so cute because I love the color, the rose gold color. So I didn't want all of that glitter on it, so I decided to paint it over. Now I wrapped up the rose just so everything is kept intact and no paint would be on it. And I decided now to take some of the same linen tool and paint that over. But guys, while I was painting, I realized that it was stripping. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? So I eventually just removed all of the outside covering because that's what it was, covering on plastic, and then just painted it over. But then I didn't like how the tulle color was coming out on the plastic, the gray background. So I decided to mix it with a little of the flamingo orange just to tone it down a little bit and to see if I could get back that same or close to rose gold. And this is what we have. So my idea for this one was to put the scripture on one side and then on the reverse side put a butterfly since I don't have an eagle. I decided now to just take a little of the same paint with a dry chippy brush and just dry brush that to give me a base. But after I put the scripture on, it messed up. The paint started lifting and that was it. I had to change course. See how beautiful that would have looked if it wasn't giving trouble. So I selected the butterfly and placed that on the other side. And I left all of this in so you can see what the mistake I made. Yep, so that was my struggle, but enough of that mess. So I scraped off the paint around the section that I wanted to cover, cut a piece of burlap fabric, glued that on, and then the poinsettia fell out. I glued that back in, and this little sign is done. And I am so happy it's over. Now guys, here we are for the final reveal. Here is my sleeping beauty, because yes, that is what she is. Her eyes are closed. But I love her. I'm happy the way she turned out. But let me know what you think about this one as well as the others. And if you would like to follow me on social media, you can scan that QR code and that will take you to my Linktree address, or you can find that link in my description box below. have it, my friends. I hope you enjoyed the videos. What do you think about my Afro lady? I love her hair. I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it. But that's just me. Let me know what you think about that as well as the other DIYs. And don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And make sure to check out May's channel. I am so excited that we were able to do this for you today. I can't wait to see what she has put together. And if you love budget-friendly content like this, I suggest this video right here or this playlist. And stay safe, my friends. Until my next one. Bye.